something else that had fight of the year potential but didn't live up to it. I would say it had maybe performance of the year potential. You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford's undisputed showdown, which Terrence Crawford was notorious stopping Errol Spence in the 7th round. So there's supposed to be a rematch in the contract. And lately, Errol Spence is back on Twitter. Terrence Crawford, I don't think ever left Twitter. There's been kind of just some tweeting back and forth, some comments being made. So, what do you think? Do you think the rematch is in jeopardy? You think Terrence Crawford's moving on from the rematch? You think we're going to get the rematch?
That I don't know. I know he mentioned, where, best of luck, along the words of best of luck to you, Errol Spence. It is what it is. Alluding to he's tired of, the back and forth and the excuses from Errol Spence with the eye injury. I don't know. I don't know how with contracts, right? With the rematch clauses. I know there's rematch clauses in the past that's gotten broken, right? But I don't know what the possible ramifications are. And I don't know if those ramifications is enough to kind of hold or bound Terrence Crawford in place for him to be forced into that rematch, right? And Terrence Crawford, I'm gonna be honest, I mean, I don't know, because if Errol Spence didn't necessarily submit himself or agree to all the terms and conditions for Terrence Crawford, like the coin flip, giving him more money for a 50-50 split, the fight would have never happened, right? And Crawford already said time and time again, he don't need the Errol Spence fight. He's okay not fighting Errol Spence, right? And he wants things to happen on his time. So I can see the fight not happening, and we just not getting a rematch based off Terrence Crawford, because honestly, the fight would have never happened if it generally wasn't for Errol Spence pushing for the fight, So
yeah,
who knows?
I imagine whatever the consequences for breaking the contract, I imagine the ramifications are pretty severe. I think Terrence Crawford is a guy who's about his money. I think same about Errol Spence. So I imagine they I don't think they're gonna go back, and you can't overturn the first fight. You can't take the belts. He's already lost one of the belts. I can only assume it'll be like a hefty fine, which I don't think he's gonna want to pay. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Errol Spence will go to the extent of like a Deontay Wilder and going through court and stuff, but you never know, right? But what I do think, and this might sound crazy, but I think these two guys are trolling us. Honestly, like I
was going to say that because did you see his tweet with the Green Bay Packers and the Dallas Cowboys?
I did see that,
and I was like, oh, maybe he is trolling us, because
like on the low, I'm not going to say they're friends, but I think the amount of respect that they have for one another, they have somewhat of a good relationship. And maybe after boxing, they'll be friends. You know what I'm saying? I think these two dudes are trolling us. I think the rematch is going to happen, but I do think the like I said, PBC's new deal. I think that pushed it back a little bit, and I think that made Errol feel like, okay, I can go out and get this surgery. But in those things happening, the fight loses some momentum. So I think they got to keep the interest there, the going back and forth. I'm not gonna say it's staged, but I do think they're like I do think somebody took a step and the other person's kind of like on board with it. You know what I'm saying? I think these guys are trolling us, and I think they're just keeping eyes on the fight. I think the rematch is gonna happen. Both guys are just too competitive, right? You know what I'm saying? Errol Spence, he didn't want to stop fighting. Terrence Crawford, his competitive nature as well. And I think he welcomes this rematch, because I think now he's gonna be like, look, he's got his eye fixed. He got everything. He didn't run the mountain. He didn't do this. And if if Terrence beats him again, look, what you got to say now? I think his competitive nature wants to take it to the next extent. You know what I'm saying? I think Errol's, embarrassment, he said he was vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? I think he wants to prove what you saw. That's not me. I want to show you the best me. And I think they're on board. And I think people saying it's not going to make money, but I do think it's going to make money. I think these guys are selling the fight. I think they're honestly trolling us with the whole fight's not going to happen stuff. And it's just too crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, if two guys really don't mess with each other, like, you're not going to just like tweeting at me like that. And I'm not going to go crazy on you. You know what I'm saying? You're not going to just tell me, oh, this is reminiscent of me kicking your ass. This, that, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think they have respect for each other. I'm not going to go as far as saying they're friends, but I think they know what they're doing here.
See, the thing is, so I can definitely see the trolling part, because once I seen like the football tweet, I was like, oh, maybe, but I think it's more trolling on Terrence Crawford's part. I think Errol Spence really wants to fight, and I don't think Errol Spence is trolling at all. I think he wants to fight, and that's why he ended up coming out with a tweet like, "Yo, get out your feelings and let's run it back." Right? I think Errol Spence is genuine when it comes to that. I think it's the games is from Terrence Crawford's side. And I think Terrence Crawford doesn't necessarily feel like he even needs the rematch as
Mhm.
well, just to play devil's advocate in the way that, you know, he's okay with not having a fight, because I think it's one of those situations where, let's say the fight does happen, because he already mentioned the fight is going to happen at 147, right? So he kind of reneged in a way where he mentioned, you know, he wants to have the fight at 154 out of his own mouth, and now he's saying he's 147. So he understands the competitive advantage that he will have at 147 when it comes to making weight, right? Another thing is, I think when he's thinking about it, he's probably like, okay, let's say, you know, these injuries were in fact true, and Errol Spence performed significantly better. Now, if it's a closer fight, it makes it takes away from my first performance, because now it's like, oh, Errol Spence probably was hurt, probably was injured, probably was weight drained, because he looked like a totally different fighter come the second fight. You get what I mean? So I think it's more pressure on Terrence Crawford's side, because no one even has faith in Errol Spence winning that rematch anyways. So the ball is on Terrence Crawford's court now. You know what I mean? I think it's more pressure on him. And I think deep down, he kind of is okay with not having the rematch and going out with his legacy with that performance on Errol Spence. And I think, but he's also, like you mentioned, he's not scared of Spence, so he will take the fight as
Yeah.
opposed to a fine. But let's say there's no fine in the mix. I don't know if he takes that rematch.
Yeah. So, when I say they're trolling us, I don't mean they're obviously Terrence Crawford is trolling by talking mess about Spence and all that stuff. But when I say they're trolling us, I think I mean I don't think the fight is in jeopardy as they're trying to
Oh,
make
okay,
it
okay,
seem
okay,
to us.
okay.
So
I
I
get what
don't
you
think
mean.
I don't think the rematch is in jeopardy.
Okay,
I
okay,
think it's happening. But to continue the buzz and speculation, now the drama of, oh, is the rematch going to happen? You know what I'm saying? It keeps us
okay.
talking about the fight.
Right.
That's what I mean by trolling us. I think that rematch is happening, and I think they know more than they're leading on. I think they're acting like it's in jeopardy, but I don't really think it's in jeopardy. I don't know, like, cause you said, like, like Terrence was like, yo, I wish you the best, and Errol was like, yeah, I got my ass kicked, but still great performance by bro. And like, these are just not how people talk who really got smoke with each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really think these dudes, I think they getting over on us right now. I think the rematch is gonna happen. Like I said, they might not know the exact date, but they know ballpark. They have some details. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah. I definitely.
it's entertainment at the end of the day, and us thinking it's an issue is entertaining.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with that. So
Yeah.
once that get announced, we just go. It's always, I think, and like you said, going to the money part, right? I think it's going to generate money for as well, right? That's more money for them. I don't know where it will fall compared to the first fight. I think it will make less money compared to the first fight, but it's still money at the end of the day,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And then, but yeah, because Errol Spence didn't come in he didn't bring the same kind of level of performance to Terrence Crawford. If it was a close fight, you know what I'm saying? And like a la Canelo Golovkin, then it's potential the second fight makes more money. But because he didn't show up to the level Terrence showed up, so now you've lost people. Because like you said, people are just like, he can't win this rematch, or why am I wasting my time watching it? You know what I mean? So that's why I think some of these other antics have to come into play.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. Definitely.
Yeah. So, what do you guys think? Do you guys think the rematch is gonna happen? Do you think they're trolling us as I think? Do you think, it's kind of laid out, the foundation's there, they kind of know what's gonna happen, but they're just building the buzz back up now? Or do you actually think this fight's in jeopardy? Definitely jump in the comment section. Before you do that, subscribe to the page. We did take a look at the analytics. We're getting great support, but a lot of the people watching the channel and the videos don't subscribe. So, just take the time out. It takes 1 second, hit that subscribe button. Got more videos coming your way soon. 2 cents short of $1. And we out.